I have another story today about a ghost that happens to be my wife's relative. It's about her great-great-grandfather, and he had an encounter with one of the most frightening creatures in all of human mythology, the Jersey Devil. Her great-great-grandfather was a logger who lived in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. And one day, he went into the woods and saw this weird humanoid creature standing over the body of his recently deceased brother. Huggin Molly is a folktale from New England and the mid-Atlantic states of America. It concerns a type of skinwalker, which is a malevolent witch that has the ability to shapeshift into various animal forms, usually a wolf, a coyote, or a fox. The term skinwalker comes from the Navajo word ye-naldlushi, which means, with it, he goes on all fours. The Navajo are a Native American tribe that lives in the southwestern United States, and they believe that skinwalkers are evil witches that use their powers for nefarious purposes. They are extremely dangerous and should never be encountered. But these types of creatures show up in many other cultures across the globe. In Germany, they are called werewolves. In France, they are called loups-garous, which is where we get our modern werewolf from. In Japan, they are called norai. And in Greece, they are called emissaries. There are many others, but you get the point. Skinwalkers, werewolves, Huggin Mollies, whatever you want to call them, they are vicious man-to-animals. Now, my wife's great-great-grandfather was working in the logging industry, so he would spend lots of time in the forest. He was a big, burly guy, stood about 6'2", weighed 200 pounds. He was as tough as nails. One day, he was working deep in the Pine Barrens when he heard some commotion in the trees. At first, he thought it was just some animals, but then he heard what sounded like a man's voice yelling and screaming. Being a curious guy, he decided to go and see what was going on. As he got closer, he could hear the commotion get louder and louder. Then he saw something that he would never forget. Standing in front of him was this weird-looking humanoid creature. It was about 7 feet tall and had a horse-like head with huge bat wings. Its eyes were glowing red, and it was letting out a blood-curdling screech. My wife's relative froze in his tracks. He couldn't move or speak. He was in shock. This was no ordinary animal. He knew this was a Jersey Devil, a legendary creature that was said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Locals had told him stories about it, but he had always dismissed them as just superstitious nonsense. But now he was face to face with it, and there was no denying its existence. The Jersey Devil stared at him for a moment, then let out another screech and disappeared into the trees. He stood there for a moment, trying to catch his breath. His heart was pounding in his chest and his hands were shaking. He was still in shock. He turned around and ran as fast as he could back to the camp. He didn't stop running until he got to the safety of his cabin. Once he got inside, he locked the doors and windows and huddled in the corner. He was terrified that the creature would find him and kill him, but it never did. He stayed in the cabin for several days, too afraid to leave. Eventually, he went back to work, but he never went back into the woods. He was too afraid of what he might find. He quit his job and moved to a different state. He spent the rest of his life telling people about his experience, but no one believed him. They all thought he was crazy. Now, the Jersey Devil is a legendary creature that has been said to inhabit the Pine Barrens of New Jersey since the early 19th century. It is said to be a large, winged, hoofed creature with a horse-like head and a blood-curdling screech. Sightings of the Jersey Devil have been reported for centuries, but no one has ever been able to prove its existence. Some people believe that the Jersey Devil is a real animal, while others believe it is a myth or a hoax. But what if it's something else? What if it's a skinwalker, a shapeshifter, a witch that can take the form of an animal? That would explain why so many people have seen it. It's because it's not really an animal at all. It's a witch, and if it is a witch, then it probably has a name, and that name is probably Levistus. Levistus is a demon of shape-shifting and transformation. It is said to be one of the most powerful demons in hell, and it has the ability to possess people and control their minds. Those who are possessed by Levistus become incredibly strong and powerful, but they also become incredibly evil and dangerous. They are said to be able to transform themselves into any creature they desire, including animals, insects, and even inanimate objects. So if the Jersey Devil is a skinwalker, then it's most likely possessed by the demon Levistus. And if that's the case, then it's truly a force to be reckoned with. One thing that makes the legend of the Jersey Devil so interesting is the fact that it has been reported to have multiple heads. Some say it has the head of a kangaroo, while others say it has the head of a goat or a horse. This could be explained by the fact that the Jersey Devil is a skinwalker, a shapeshifter that can take on many forms. It may be that the different heads are simply different disguises. If it is a shapeshifter, then it most likely has a master. And that master is most likely Satan himself. It is said that Satan is the ruler of hell, and he is the most powerful demon of them all. He is also known for his ability to shapeshift and disguise himself. So it is very possible that he is the one who taught the Jersey Devil these powers. If that's true, then it would make sense that the Jersey Devil would have multiple heads, each representing a different aspect of Satan himself. If you're finding this video interesting so far, stay tuned for more. We have another legend coming up about the Beast of Gully Foyle. It's a wild one. I won't spoil it here. You'll just have to watch to find out. And don't forget to support us. It helps us continue making these videos. There are many different legends and myths surrounding the Jersey Devil, but one of the most popular ones says that it was born in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. According to this legend, the Jersey Devil is the 13th child of a woman named Mother Leeds. She gave birth to 12 children, all of which were normal and healthy. But when she gave birth to the 13th child, it wasn't normal. The baby was born with the head of a kangaroo, the wings of a bat, hooves instead of feet, and horns on its head. It is said that the baby was so ugly and monstrous that Mother Leeds cursed it, and that's when the Jersey Devil was born. Now, obviously, this is just a legend. There is no proof that any of this actually happened, but it's still a fun story to tell around a campfire on a dark and stormy night. And it's definitely one of the most popular explanations for the existence of the Jersey Devil. But what if this legend is actually true? What if the Jersey Devil really was born in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey? If that's true, then it would mean that there are other monsters out there that we don't know about. It would mean that there are other creatures lurking in the shadows waiting to pounce. If that's true, then we need to be careful. We need to be aware of our surroundings at all times. We need to be ready to fight back against these creatures if we ever encounter them. Because if we're not prepared, then we could be next. Thanks for watching. Huggin Molly end. Please remember to like and subscribe for more scary and bizarre videos. Also check out our other content. We have a podcast and a horror anthology series available on a streaming platform. Until next time, stay safe and stay away from skinwalkers.